Good evening, everyone. I'm very glad you're here. It's good to see you. The week went by, the holidays went by, Christmas came and went, and just seems like a good time to sit down and have a nice drink. So, come on and join me, if you will. I'd be very happy if you would. So, and once again, don't feel obligated to drink anything at all if you don't want. I'm just having some chamomile tea myself. Nothing crazy tonight. And, yeah, it'll be good. So, without further ado, cheers to you. And Jesus too. It's really cold outside right now. I don't know where you're at. I'm in Northern California, and it's going to get down to about 32 tonight, which is, for us Californians, is absolutely abysmal, right? I mean, everything's going to freeze. There'll be frozen houses everywhere, frozen people in the streets. Your car will be just a block of ice. It's like the apocalypse, it gets that cold down here. Or up here, I should say. Anyway, my point is, it's very cold. Have a warm drink, but I try not to let the cold bother me too much. Because I remind myself, been through enough seasons now where I remember that in the summer it gets really freaking hot here. I mean, like 110, just crazy hot. So, with that in mind, I try to enjoy the coldness while it's here, To everything there is a season. Anyway, like I said, Christmas came, Christmas went. Time presses on, and the new year is almost here. So I figured I'd end with a bang. Something, some people might find absolutely crazy. But I'm going to go there. Because I can. For those of you who don't know, when I drink, I like to think, like to read, kind of get the old noggin going, if you know what I mean. So, today, I'm going to be reading from the good book, which means that this episode, this video, is going to be centered on the Bible, Christianity, all that stuff. If you're not a Christian, I would love for you to join me. I really would. I would. But if it's not your thing, I get it. It's okay. If you want to tune out, that's fine. But if you would, I'd be honored if you join me. And I hope you do. But like I said, if not, it's okay. You can tune in next time. It's fine. But for those of you who are interested, I think you'll find it interesting. A little unique perspective. One of the things I heard over and over in Sunday school and church and things like that, and it always kind of bothered me, was this saying. And as you guessed probably from the title, it was "Render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's," right? Now let me dive right into it. We'll go from there. You'll see where I'm going. Let's see. So render unto Caesar that which is Caesar. Comes from Luke chapter 20. And basically, Jesus' authority is questioned. And the chief priests, the leaders of Israel at the time, where Jesus lived, they're asking him a bunch of questions. And one of those questions was, should we pay tribute? And let's see. Luke chapter 20, verse 22 states, actually, let me go back. Verse 21. And they asked him, saying, Master, we know that thou sayest and teachest rightly. Neither acceptest thou the person of any, but teachest the way of God truly. Is it lawful for us to give tribute unto Caesar or no? But he, Jesus, perceived their craftiness, and said unto them, Why tempt ye me? Shew me a penny. Whose image and superscription hath it? They answered and said, Caesar's. And he said unto them, Render therefore unto Caesar the things which be Caesar's, and unto God the things which be God's. And they could not take hold of his words before the people, and they marveled at his answer, and held their peace. So, it seems simple enough, right? Render unto Caesar that which belongs to Caesar. Yeah. And unto God that which is God's, right? Seems simple, seems easy, straightforward, right? Pay your taxes, pay your tribute, all that stuff. What else belongs to Caesar? Honor, respect, that kind of thing. All right, fair enough. But let me phrase it to you another way. Render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's. Render unto God's that which is God's. Let's flip that, right? Render unto God's that which is God's, and render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's. What belongs to God, my fellow Christians? You should know the answer. Everything. Right? Everything. Everything belongs to God, right? Your money belongs to God. Your life, your soul, your time, your clothes on your back. Everything belongs to God. So if everything belongs to God, well, what's left over for Caesar? Not much. I know. Crazy, isn't it? Think about it, though. Just let that sink in for a minute. Everything belongs to God. But wait, there's more. Luke 23. Those same leaders who questioned Jesus brought him before Pilate, and they wanted to have him executed. And one of the charges they brought forth to have him executed was very interesting. So, here we go. I'll read it to you now. 23. Yeah, Luke chapter 23 is where this comes from. And the whole multitude of them arose, and led him unto Pilate, the Roman governor, leader. I don't know exactly what his rank was, but he's basically the Roman guy in charge of the area. And they, the leaders of Israel, the mob, began to accuse him, saying, We found this fellow perverting the nation, and forbidding to give tribute to Caesar, saying that he himself is Christ a king. Whoops. They didn't teach you that one in Sunday school, did you? Or did they? Your pastor might have forgot that one, I think. Let me read it again. And they began to accuse him, saying, We found this fellow perverting the nation, and forbidding to give tribute to Caesar, saying that he himself is Christ a king. You know, the mob shouted, right? Pilate, he said, Behold your king. He had Jesus scourged and whipped and all sorts of horrible things. And the mob shouted, We have no king but Caesar. Well, I'm here to tell you that we have no king but Christ. Straight up. Jesus refused to pay tribute to Caesar. You see what he did there, render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's, and God, respectively. That is one of the greatest verbal redirections of all time. He even did the penny thing, Caesar's image is on this thing. So he made them think, right? But it wasn't. They accepted his words at face value, but when you think about it, it begins to fall apart. Everything belongs to God. And likewise, if everything belongs to God, there's not much left over from Caesar. So, and there it is, Luke 23. Jesus refused to pay tribute to Caesar because he is the king, Jesus is the king. So, yeah. Now, I suspect that many of my fellow Christians and people watching this video are going to throw Romans 13 at me. I came prepared, I did. So let's go there. Let's go to Romans 13. Let's see. Romans 8, 12, 13. For those of you who aren't Christians, Romans 13 is what a lot of people use as justification to follow all government rules. And I'll make a separate video going in depth to it, but it hints at that, right? Romans 13, the chapter says basically be subject to higher powers. And specifically when talking about tribute, this video, tribute to Caesar, Romans chapter 13, verse 7 says, "Render therefore to all their dues, tribute to whom tribute is due, custom to whom custom, fear to whom fear, honor to whom honor." So Paul's saying, render tribute to who tribute belongs to. Almost echoing Jesus' sentiments. And Romans 13 is kind of an oddball, if I do say so myself, but I have to agree with Paul's sentiments, you know? If you're going to go to prison, it should be because you're preaching the gospel, or you're helping the homeless, or the sick, or the wounded, or clothing the homeless, all that stuff. Not for tax evasion, you know what I mean? If you go to prison for tax evasion, that looks bad. That's not a good witness. So, and the whole idea behind Romans 13, I mean, if you really break it down, we're trying to be good witnesses. You know, we shouldn't use our Christianity as an example to skirt every single law on the planet and say, oh, those don't apply, we're not Christians. Well, no, as long as they're in line with our Christian beliefs and they don't interfere with that and conflict with that or dishonor our Lord and Savior, we do have to follow them. Like the tribute, paying tribute to whom tribute is due. Okay, fair enough, right? One little thing, though. We don't have a Caesar. We don't have a king. I mean, we have Christ. Christ is our king, but this is America. This is a republic. We can choose. We can choose to lower our taxes. I mean, certain politicians make it difficult, but if we really wanted to, we could, right? So render tribute to whom it's due. Well, we the people can say it's not due. We can do that. It's possible. This is America. Now that brings me to my next point. Why would we do that? And I have the answer for you. The answer is found in the New Testament. Nah, let's do that again. The answer is found in Timothy, actually. So let me flip over there. 1 Timothy 6. This is going to be a weird take, but hang on. I think you'll see where I'm going. 1 Timothy 6, verse 10 states that the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith, and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. The love of money is the root of all evil. What does it have to do with taxes, you ask? Well, let me put it to you this way. The federal government rakes in trillions of dollars in taxes. Our money, they take it from us. Your state and local governments also rake in millions, if not billions of dollars. Now, with that kind of money on the line, just sitting there, for the taking, by the way, do you think that's going to attract the best people around? Do you think that's going to attract the most honest, trustworthy, upstanding citizens of our society, having all that money just sitting around taxpayer money sitting there, ready to just give out to themselves and their friends? Of course not. The love of money is the root of all evil. I mean, come on. What more do I need to say? Look at Washington, D.C. Look at the wickedness, the greed, the theft, you know? You're talking about income inequality. Go to Washington, D.C. All the millionaires and billionaires galore live there. I mean, hive of scum and villainy, right? That's where it's at. And what do you think enables that? How do you think that happens? Taxes. They take money from you. They take money from me. And they give it to themselves. And they give it to their friends on Wall Street. And their defense contractor friends. And they yuck it up. You know, you think there's political parties. You think really that there's two parties? You kidding me? After work, they go have drinks together and they laugh at us. It's because they're bad people, right? All that money sitting there attracts the sickest, most wicked people on planet Earth. I mean, what do you think that's going to do? I mean, honestly, all that money sitting there. I mean, if you had the opportunity to have free money, taxpayer dime, right, to give out to all your friends, and you could live in the utmost wealth and splendor, wouldn't you? I mean, I'd like for you to say no, right? Because you're taking money from people. You're basically stealing, but most people would, right? As is evidenced by Washington, D.C. It exists. It's a thing. You know? I mean, look at what they do with that money. I mean, sure, they help some people, but mostly goes to themselves and their friends. I mean, the Defense Department invading foreign countries. Like I said, Wall Street, they bail out the banks, they bail out the corporations, and then they give you a pittance, right? They give you whatever they feel like they need to give you so that you don't revolt. That's basically what it is. So, yeah. That brings me to my next point. Taxes, the government, all that stuff. It, as Christians, you know, we should be giving. And we should be trying to lower our taxes. Like I said in my last point, the Washington, D.C. and all that money, all those terrible, terrible people who will say literally anything to get elected, right? And we all know they lie. They don't actually believe probably 90% of the things they say. They just say whatever just to get elected and get that money. As Christians, we should not be a part of that. So I believe we have an obligation to pay as little taxes as possible. I mean, the bare minimum. And then, like I said, on top of that, we should be trying to put that even lower. We should be doing our best to put pressure on our elected officials or even ourselves running for office and lowering those taxes to remove that temptation, to remove that evil from the imperial city, as I like to call it, but D.C. You know, so they can't do those things. But another thing that I want to bring up is the idea of, you know, a lot of people, when they debate with me, they say, oh, well, the government does a lot of good things. Okay, fair enough. The government does some good things with your money. But as Christians, let me put it to you this way. Why are you denying yourselves the blessing? Think about it. Jesus and God commanded you to give, right? He didn't say for you to take from someone else to give to a poor person or a sick person, right? He said you do it. He didn't say to vote for somebody to take money from someone else to give to someone else, right? He said you earn that money and you give it. That's Christianity. You're giving yourself. You're sacrificing a piece of yourself to help someone else, right? Love your neighbor as yourself. Love your enemies. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. The Christianity 101. But you want the government to do it. That's not Christian. It's not Christian at all. You're denying yourself the blessing. You're having someone else do it for you, and you're trying to claim that you're virtuous. Like, oh, look at me. I mean, politicians do it all the time. Look at me. I gave somebody else's money away. Really? Wow, so virtuous. And I see many Christian politicians do it too. Professed Christians. But even just Christians that I've run into, they think the government is like the greatest thing since sliced bread. Like, look at what they're doing. It's so wonderful. No, they're doing terrible, evil things, and then they do a few good things to justify their existence. You should be doing the good. I should be doing the good, right? Don't deny yourself the blessing. And another thing, you're denying yourself the blessing. You're also denying God the praise. Think about it. When people get that government check, who are they praising? Who are they thanking? Not God. Not you. They're not thanking you for your hard work. They're thanking Uncle Sam. Actually, nowadays, people don't even thank Uncle Sam. They think it's an entitlement. They think they deserve it, which they don't. They don't. You don't deserve somebody else's labor just because you exist, right? Now, as Christians, we're called to give, to be the light and salt of this earth and go help those people. And that'll give them the heart of gratitude when they see us giving something of ourselves to them, right? It'll get rid of this entitlement mentality that I see everywhere, right? Because they'll understand, they'll see directly that it was given to them. It wasn't something that some law, I'm entitled to my money, that attitude will just disappear. And honestly, it saddens me to see this attitude everywhere. People feel entitled to this money. Like, oh, it's my money. No, it's not. It's not your money. Somebody had to work for that. So, I really want to hit that home, You're denying yourself the blessing, and you're denying God the praise. Right? They're praising Uncle Sam. It's not how it's supposed to work. You should be praising God. So, think about it. Really think about it. As Christians, we shouldn't be endeavoring to pay as little to no taxes as possible. And I know it sounds crazy, right? But when you think about it, the income tax really wasn't, and it didn't exist until 1913. In the Civil War, Lincoln, he made an income tax for a little bit to fund the war. But it was temporary, and I believe it got struck down in the Supreme Court. I think. Don't quote me on that. That might have been another tax, but I think so. And it was, still is unconstitutional. That's actually one of the rulings I agreed with the court on. And we still had stuff, if you think about it. The gas tax. Yeah. What did people do before gasoline existed or was discovered and taxed? We still had roads. We still had bridges. We still had public infrastructure. These things existed. They were part of our society before we quite literally taxed everything. What happened? You see, government tricked you. They made you think that we need all these taxes, all these thousands. The tax code is huge. It is enormous. It is sickeningly enormous, right? And they've convinced you that it needs to be that big to fund our society. But it wasn't so. It wasn't always this way. America went along just fine without all these taxes. The church played a big role in taking care of the poor and the sick and the needy. There were Christian hospitals. There aren't that many now because the government took over and shut them down. I'll cover that in another video, but we're up to our eyeballs in government, right, in the medical field, and it's horrible. It's worse than it's ever been. Right? Just putting two and two together here. Come on. All these things, charities, private charities, they were a big part of that, It didn't all used to be government. It was private citizens like you and me coming together, being Americans, and working together. We didn't need Uncle Sam to do all that. So, Christian charity. And that's the idea, you know? Christ is our king. We need to serve him. We need to use our money for good. So, to sum it all up, brought my notes here. Render unto Caesar, but everything belongs to God, right? So, and we live in a republic. We don't have a Caesar. We can pick and choose our own taxes. One of the accusations against Jesus was that he refused to pay tribute, obviously, because he is the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Romans 13, we should still pay taxes, but due to certain circumstances, which I'll cover, hang on, we should limit what we pay to the absolute minimum, because government does bad things with our money, and horrible people get elected to office. So our money should be used to serve God. And, the love of money is the root of all evil. We have a giant pile of money that goes to Washington, D.C. every day. They're just raking in the cash. It's attracting all sorts of bad people. We shouldn't be a part of that, right? We should limit what we send there as much as we can so that, number one, we remove the temptation, for those evil people to be there, and also for ourselves so we can use that money to bring good to our country and in our world, right? So that we can give ourselves the blessing and give God the praise, not Uncle Sam. We have a republic. Yep, already covered that. So we the people can choose to not have all these taxes. It's possible. And I just brought up that we had society. Society existed and functioned just fine before we taxed everything that wasn't bolted down to the floor. I mean, they tax stuff that is bolted to the floor. I mean, goodness. They tax everything. It's ridiculous. Don't call yourself virtuous for giving other people's money away. That's just... that bothers me. That really bothers me. I see Christians doing it. I know I'm repeating myself, but it really bothers me. Okay. As the 44th President of the United States so eloquently said, you didn't build that. Yeah, that covers it. That's all I got in my notes. So, anyway, looking forward to a very lively debate on this one, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to your opinions, your takes, your thoughts, probably the names you're going to call me, but it's okay. It's all right. I can take it. Bring it. Because I want to learn. I want your opinion. If I'm wrong, just tell me why. When you can attack me, I'm not going to care. I mean, I get attacked all the time, people personally, You can call me names, but it's not going to change my mind. And likewise, I could call you names, but that's not going to change your mind. So let's have a friendly debate. Let's exchange ideas. If I'm wrong, tell me why. I want to know. Am I full of it? Okay, well, give it to me. What do you got? What verses do you have? What quotations from your philosopher or legal doctrines? I don't know. Hit me. Hit me with what you got. And I want to see it. Because that's how we learn and grow. And that's why I love freedom of speech so much. Because we can do that. We can exchange ideas, even if we find them offensive or bad or wrong or whatever, Instead of just punching someone you disagree with in the face, effectively shutting down their speech, their ideas, well, that's an opportunity that you've lost, that you might have been able to grow. And likewise, if the person is wrong, maybe they deserved it. You punched him in the face. I'm looking at you, lefties. Just gonna say. Anyway, yeah, if that person is wrong and you punch them in the face, well, now you've just shut down the debate. They're not going to listen to you anymore. Now you've just lost an opportunity for them to grow, for them to learn, for them to become a better person. So, by shutting down freedom of speech, you're really not doing anybody any good. So, come on. let's not have violence for speech. Speech isn't violence. I mean, to equate those two is just silly. All right. I'd like to think we're all better than that. I hope. I pray. Anyway, I think that's about it. I'll leave it there. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. I hope good things happen for you. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. I know it was rough for a lot of you, and honestly, I had some tragedy happen. I won't bother you with the details, but just know that if you're having a rough time, I feel you, and my heart's with you, and in my thoughts and my prayers. So if your Christmas wasn't the best, I'm with you, So anyway, yeah, I don't want to leave it on a down note like that, though. New Year's is coming up. Looking forward to a new year, right? We'll put 2020 behind us and start fresh, and we'll do our best. We'll do our best to make it a good year and mold it in the best way we can. Yeah. So if I don't see you before then, Happy New Year's as well. And I hope you tune in again. And definitely, yeah, I hope to see you again. And until then, I wish you the best. Good night, everyone.